So let's continue with the tracing practice. So today I want to trace these two images, and these two images will be used for my campaign poster, which is eating healthy food. All right. Right. So now in the Illustrator, when you go to Files and New, and I want this to be posted in social media platform, which is Instagram. So I'm going to choose Instagram portrait post, and I want this to be in the um, landscape orientation. Okay, not in the portrait. Right, and then you choose this and you can give a name. Okay, campaign poster. Right, just create. So now you let's take the banana first. So you can click here and drop it in the canvas. All right. So now you can click in the image, in the layers. You double click the image, check template, and make this dim to 50%. Right. But before that, I want to resize this. I want to scale this. So when you convert this into a template, automatically the layers will be locked. So click here to unlock, and then you can use the selection tool. So click on the object and make sure that you hold the key, shift key on your keyboard. Okay, hold the shift key on the keyboard, and I want to resize this. Right. So now we are done, and I want you to lock back the layer. Right. So now add a new layer and name this as outline. Okay, so now let's start with the tracing using the pen tool. So in the toolbar, in the toolbox, click pen tool. Okay, so before we start, you go to properties. In the fill, click once and then choose none. In the stroke, you can choose any colors you like. For this exercise, I'm using the black, and I can click this word stroke. Okay, and I get another option. So I can change the weight to 7, cap round, and joint is round. So when I'm done setting the weight, the cap, and the corner, you can just click anywhere in the gray area. Okay, then now when you hover your mouse in the canvas, you can see the pen tool. Right, so let's start with the tracing area from this part. Okay, so click one time, do not release your finger, click and hold until you see these two pointers. Okay, so these two pointers will um, give you a direction for your pen path. So let's say because I want the next line to goes to the right hand side, so I make sure that my arrow is going up and to the right hand side, and then when I'm satisfied with this direction, I will release my fingers, then I can see the path for the next point. Okay, then I will click, and again the same, click and do not hold the finger, do not release the finger. Okay, so you can drag so that you can see the next point should be here. Don't mind, because even though the line is not exactly following the tracing line, we can adjust that later. Okay, right, then release your finger. So now if if this is doesn't go to the place that you want, and it's like really going outside from the outline, you can adjust this point. So how to adjust this point? If you hold the option, okay, your cursor now is changing to another symbol, so you can click and adjust this controller. Okay, so let's say I want this to be not too long, because the longer you have, the far the parts can go. So because this area is not that far, so I just want to make this shorter, so that when I release my finger, okay, the mouse, then I can see that the next point is just nice for me to click and add another point. So let's say I want to start in here. So click, hold the mouse and drag. Okay, click and drag. So because this is a corner, I can hover my mouse until I see the symbol change, and I just one click to cut that point. Okay, and here it's like a straight point. So click and I will drag this. Alright, and I can just cut from this point and continue somewhere from here. Alright, so again, if I want to adjust this controller, I can hold the option and point this to the right directions, and then when I want to stop, I'll see the small circle in my pen tool and I can click and stop the line. Okay, so back to this line, because this is not following the tracing lines on your reference, so it's fine. You can go to the direct selection. So direct selection allow you to select this point individually. Okay, so if I click on this point, I can adjust using the these two pointers. Right, so that is the first part for the banana. Right, now let's continue on the next parts of this object. Okay, so again you will click the pen tool. Alright, so this time I want you to draw the line and overlap with the first one. Okay, so again click and then drag. Okay, click and drag, and then click and drag, and because this is corner, so I'll just hover and click one time. Okay, click and drag. So we can end at here. Right, so to release your mouse from the pen tool, you can press escape on your keyboard. Right, so now we have overlapped this second line with the first one, so I want you to delete this part. Okay, right, so how to delete that part? If you highlight everything, you can use the shape builder. So click on the shape builder. When you hover your mouse in the image, you see there is a plus sign. Okay, I want you to hold the option key. Now it changed to minus. So when you place your cursor in this line, you can delete the line. Right, so now let's continue with the next part. Okay, so let's say we continue from this area. So again, make sure that you overlap the line. Alright, I'm gonna close this one. Hold option so that you can make this shorter. Okay, and then it can click here and close it. Alright, so escape, then same, you have to highlight this part, and when you go to the shape builder, hold the option and you can delete this line. Right, and then continue with the next part. So click, make sure that this is overlap, the lines is overlap. Okay, escape, and then again, before you use the shape builder, make sure that you highlight all the parts that overlap with the line that you want to delete. Okay, hold the option and you can delete all the unnecessary area. Okay, but use the command plus or command minus to zoom in and zoom out your canvas. So let's continue with this one. Okay, this is the first part. Right, make sure that this is overlap. Okay, let's start from here. Okay, so cut this out, then continue with the next point. So escape and then use the selection tool, highlight this area, use the shape builder, hold the option and then delete all this point. If you make something wrong, you just Ctrl Z to undo. Okay, so hold option, make sure that this point, this line is selected. Okay, then click and delete them. And this is the last part. Right, so for this part, because I see that this area is square, so I can use the rectangle. Okay, and then create the rectangle area, and when I use the selection tool, I can make this change the directions of the rectangle, and then move this to the right direction. The direct selection, okay, so that I can click on each of these individual point and adjust it. So this is depends on your creativity. Right, so again the pen tool, so click here and drag, so click and drag, do not release your finger, click and drag. Okay, click and drag, and we're gonna finish it somewhere in here. Okay, use the selection tool, select all the area that is overlap, and then use the shape builder, hold option and delete all these unnecessary point. Okay, then continue. Okay, click and drag, so click and drag, I'm gonna start from this. Okay, click and drag, click and drag. Let's do it again. So it's supposed to be from here. Okay, it stopped from here. So I'm gonna use this line. Okay, so click and drag, click and drag, and so we're gonna stop somewhere in here. Okay, so again use the selection tool, highlights all the lines that is overlap. Okay, use the shape builder and then hold option and click this line. Oops, okay, only this line, we don't need this one, and I think this part. Right, alright, so now let's see in the layers. Okay, so we have done with this outline. Okay, right, so now add a new layer. So bring this down, so you can click and drag under outline. So name this as color. So we are done with the outline, and I want you to lock the outline. So now we need to add the colors. Okay, so for the colors, what I want you to do is this is how you choose colors when you are doing a design. Okay, I want you to go to Adobe Color Wheel. So go to Explore. All right, so you can either find a specific objects that you want, or you can make the color themes as a whole for one poster. Okay, so let's say I can type a specific colors for the banana. Okay, if I type banana, and you will see that this is all the colors value that you can use, okay, for a specific banana. So let's choose this one. Okay, so if I click here, I can see that there is a color codes in here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, go back to Illustrator. Okay, and I want to take the colors and keep it in my canvas. So now click and use ellipse tool just to create one small circle. Alright, so in this circle I will go back to the Google Chrome. Okay, then I will click to copy, and then go back to my Illustrator. So in here, so you can double click from here. Alright, so double click, this is the same. Right, double click here because I want to use the color picker, and you can see that this is where you can paste the color code. So now if I right click, I can paste the color code, and when I press OK, so now I have the first colors in here, and I don't want the stroke, so I will click again on the stroke and choose none. So now I only have the fill color. So let's copy and paste this circle so we can take another 4 colors for this banana. Okay, right, so you can hold option, and you can see your cursor turns into two arrows. So click and okay, place it at the bottom. So now go back to Google Chrome and click to copy. So again, if you double click in here, you can change this, paste the colors that you have choose from the Adobe Color Wheel. So these are the second color. Alright, so let's take this one. Okay, copy that one, and then go back to Illustrator, hold the option, you can paste this circle, double click here, and then paste the third color. Alright, so let's see again. I think that should be enough. Right, so now let's color your banana. Okay, so make sure that the outline is locked and you have a new layer called color. So how to color? We will still use the pen tool. Okay, we are using the pen tool. So we add the first bright color, then after that we will add the shadow and the highlight. Alright, so let's say the first color that I want it to be on my banana is this first yellow. Okay, so now I will click use the eyedropper and choose this color. Okay, so that in my field now I have this first yellow color. Okay, and without the outline, okay, without the stroke. Then click on the pen tool. You can command plus to make this area zoom in, and I will just click again. Okay, but this time I'm not really concerned, about make sure that this is really straight, just to make sure that when I click, it goes inside the outline, so that this fill this color will fill up the area. Okay, right. So if you think that this is not fit in, so you just go to direct selection and adjust the area so that you do not have any white area going inside the field. Right. Okay, so let's continue with this second part. So you can zoom in to control in you can use command plus to zoom in. So the same, I'm gonna click this area. Just make sure that the lines goes inside so you don't get the white area. Okay, and then click to finish it. Right, so let's continue in this part. Right, so this area maybe I want to have the yellow which is more light than this one. Okay, so I'm gonna add one more circle, right, and then click the color picker and choose this one just to make sure that this is the right color. And if I double click, I can find another hue color, another light color for the yellow. Right, so I think I'm satisfied with this one. So again, okay, click to stop the pointer. Okay, we have two more areas in here. and this is the last part. Right, so we are done with the colors. Now we want to add the shadow. Right, so for the shadow, because I have add colors layer in here, so I could not see the shadow, so I will click the eyes to close, can see the shadow. But before that I need the colors for the shadow, which is this color. So I'm gonna click this color first and then close the color layers. Okay, now click on shadow, so make sure that you lock the colors. So in the shadow, so the same, you will go and select the pen tool. So let's say this is the shadow area, so I'm gonna click here. Okay, click this part and then follow the shadow area. Okay, then I can click in the shadow area, go to properties, and I just want to turn down the opacity to 60%. Right, now let's continue with the next one. So this is the next area for the shadow. Okay, so the same, I will click, go to properties and turn down the opacity. Right, again in the properties, change the opacity to 60%. So now let's see how it look like, your colors with the shadow. And you can close, you can hide eyes for layer 1 just to see everything as a whole. Okay, and one more thing that we need is, if you look at the layer 1, okay, you can hide the colors, so you need the highlights. Okay, another one is the highlight, so you can add one highlights in here and maybe somewhere in here. Right, so I'm gonna add one more layers and I'm name it as highlight. So I want to lock my shadow. So for the highlight, I will use colors from we can choose another yellow, but a very bright yellow for the highlights. Okay, right, so let's see. Okay, so yep, I think we can use this one. So I'm gonna close color so I can see the layer 1. Right, then let's add a few highlights in here. Okay, we can add some in here. Right, so now if I open up the colors, okay, I can close layer 1, and this is how it look like as banana that we have tracings. Okay, but I think yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this banana. But we forget one more colors at the bottom. Okay, so go to colors, just lock everything, unlock the color. Okay, and I'm just gonna click the eyedropper and choose this one. Okay, because okay, sorry, click the pen tool and create the area. Right, so when we are done with this, because we have two objects, okay, we are done with the first one. So now you can select all the layer, and then here in the layer option, I want you to choose collect a new layer. So when you do this, everything will goes into one parent, and all the layers will become child to this first one. So you can rename layer 6 as banana. So that's how you organize your objects in Illustrator. So now let's continue with the second one, which is the apple. Okay, so we are done with the banana. You can lock the banana and then continue with the apple. The same technique that we just learned, click and drag. Alright, so hold the shift key, make it bigger. Okay, so place this at the right area, so later on you can organize the layout for your Kingpin poster. Okay, so now I want you to finish up these illustrations for the class exercise. Thank you everyone.